Volvo has been struggling to gain a foothold in India and is a distant number 4 in the Indian luxury car market. But with this car, Volvo hopes to make waves and capture some volumes at the same time. The V40 Cross Country is the butch avatar of the V40 station wagon. While the V40 debuted a year ago at the 2012 Geneva Motor Show, the Cross Country variant was shown at the Paris Motor Show and has now started rolling out in European markets. Now, when the V40 Cross Country drives into our market, it's going to have to compete with a wide variety of vehicles. There's everything from the Mercedes-Benz B Class, which is more hatch-like, to something which looks very much SUV-ish, that's the Audi Q3. And then you've got the BMW X1. Visually, this car does look a whole lot more compact than that. So it's got very different cars to take on. Let's go and explore the design a little bit closer. The V40 Cross Country adds a little attitude to the plain V40. It's certainly smart and has a tough look, courtesy not just the skid plates at the front and rear, but also the extra plastic cladding that's been thrown around. Like all Volvos, this one's loaded with lots of safety gear, and so you've got the inbuilt radar system back here in the grille. But otherwise, in terms of styling, the big Volvo logo and the looks that pretty much tell you that it's the new design language from the family. So a little bit of the inbuilt LED daytime running lights. In front though, the bumper, that's the section where you can see it's got this black cladding that's been thrown in. It gives it a little bit of a sporty appeal, and that's where the cross-country part comes in, because the regular V40, well, it doesn't have any of those sections. It's all body colored and it's a lot more saloon-like in its styling. You do see that cladding pop up here on the side as well. It gives it a rugged look, and it's also perhaps a little practical from especially the Indian viewpoint. Roof rails here also add to the sporty element. The panoramic roof, again, a nice little touch, gives it a bit of a high-end feel as well. At the back, again, typical Volvo styling territory. Looks a little bit like the C30, but yes, it reminds you of the XC60 in particular, just like the face does. But this is the section which I think is nice. It's young, it's sporty, it's very different. Doesn't look station wagon-like as a result of what's been done here. The whole tailgate just sort of moves up a little bit. You don't see the typical door clamp. It's all nicely hidden away inside. Big Volvo lettering at the back. And again, the black cladding, the plastic bit shows up in the rear bumper as well. And you got twin tailpipes and the cross-country badging very neatly embossed, almost subtly down here. So looks rugged, looks a little bit more ready for action than the regular V40 does. And even though it has a station wagon sort of a look along the side, I think overall it has certain elements that should appeal to an Indian audience, especially a younger buyer. The Cross Country is also 40 millimeters higher off the ground than the regular V40, and that added ground clearance will hold it in good stead in India for sure. The boot is not cavernous, but holds a generous 335 liters of cargo nevertheless. Inside, the Cross Country is extremely Scandinavian. Subtle palette meets practical layout. The central console is the now familiar floating style panel from other Volvos with lots of buttons, and yes, you will find a hollow behind that panel. The buttons make access to all the functions a little bit easier than having to go through a one knob controls everything kind of dial. The seats are well finished and plush, and the cabin overall appears butch too, but very well built and premium. Space isn't great at the back, and 3 well-built Indians may find it a bit tight. But overall, it's the kind of plushness that you would expect from a premium offering. Now, let's drive it. First impression is a good one. The car with me today is the 177 bhp D4 variant. The range-topping variant is the T5 petrol, which is also the only one that has all-wheel drive. A massive 254 bhp as well, but it's not likely to be introduced in India. In India, we will get the 150 bhp D3, which uses the same engine block as the D4 but with reduced output. It's also the same engine that you get in the S60, the XC60 and the S80 in India. Of the 3 petrol variants on offer, we shall get the 180 bhp T4, which also promises to be fun, and you know what? I can't wait to drive it too. Now there's a certain sporty character that comes through inside the cabin as well, not just in terms of the colors and the way everything's been laid out, but also the way the car feels. Now remember I said the car has this impression of being a little compact and taut, well, that actually helps on the drive side, because what it does is it gives you a little bit sportier performance. It gives you better control and a feel of something that's really responsive, as opposed to a regular station wagon, which is usually stretched and gives you the impression of being really long in the back. So yeah, I think that part is something that's going to appeal to buyers who want to drive the car themselves. What's not going to perhaps work is for people who want to sit at the back, because it does give the car a bit of a sporty character, as I said, and so the suspension settings seem a little bit taut, and people in the back may not really like that. The other thing that I do like is that youthful appeal. Well, it also comes through in the kind of instruments I'm seeing here. It's a virtual instrument cluster, pretty cool stuff, and the driving position, the seats, all of that, I think lend themselves to a car that's going to be fun to drive, something a lot of Indian buyers might actually appreciate. The lack of the all-wheel drive variant won't really hurt Volvo's prospects, in my opinion. The car is agile and sporty as is, and very precise in its handling and steering too. The added ground clearance hasn't taken away ride quality, and I have to say it feels more fun than the Mercedes-Benz B Class and the BMW X1, though the Audi Q3 will likely feel more exciting, since that is an all-wheel drive with Quattro. The V40 Cross Country I drove had lots of goodies on board that included navigation, heated seats, both of which, by the way, came in really handy, especially in this frigid setting. The panoramic moonroof, love that. Park assist radar and camera, well, the list is pretty endless. The car also has lots of safety equipment like all Volvos. Collision and blind spot warnings with adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, multiple airbags, with in fact even the optional pedestrian airbags too. And as I said, the list then really is endless. Volvo is likely to seek volumes, as I said, and so I expect the prices to stay below the BMW X1s. So finally, the premium market is within sniffing distance of the 20 lakh price barrier. What Volvo will need to do is quickly make good on its promise to open more dealerships and workshops and get cars on the road, so people have a little bit more faith in the brand. This one's not an off-roader, it's not big, and it's not bulky either. It doesn't have 3-row seating. But frankly, is that what most of you would really be looking for?